Boxing Hall of Fame, the Las Vegas Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
Talk about the fight real quick, the Conor versus Floyd real quick to kick us off.
What's up, everybody? I just want to say hi to you guys. Let us know how the connection looks. YouTube is telling us we got a shaky connection, so let us know what the quality looks like, so we could stop and try to connect to the internet to go and talk to you guys. Tino will be moderating. I'm driving right now. Like you mentioned, we're en route to Las Vegas for the Mayweather McGregor workouts. Floyd Mayweather's working out tomorrow. Conor McGregor's working out Friday, excuse me. And then Saturday, it's the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. You got Eric Morales.
It looks good.
Looks good now? All right, good. Eric Morales is
let's go straight to it. They're asking if you think the Paulie versus sparring Conor McGregor is a lie. I don't think it's a lie. I think Paulie's telling the truth. He has a track record of saying the truth, to my opinion, and I don't know.
I think he's saying the truth. I don't think Paulie's lying, even though when you look at it from outside, anybody who leaves a camp like that, obviously, you got to see, like, what do they have to gain from this. Paulie obviously doesn't want to look bad because he's going to have to deal with people hounding him, saying like, hey, you got your ass beat by a guy who's not even a boxer. But looking at Paulie's track record over the years, interviewing him and seeing the interviews he's done, and the articles on him, he's a pretty honest guy when it comes to that. He's been pretty consistent with telling the truth. And I mentioned this in our Facebook, our Instagram chat. Sometimes you'll interview fighters and they'll tell you one thing, and then you see another article or you see something else where it's like, you find out that they're lying to you and stuff, and for the most part, Paulie's been pretty consistent with what he said over the years, so I believe him when it comes to the sparring stuff.
And let's get a prediction for Mayweather McGregor real quick. I want to hear yours because yours is really interesting.
Well, hold on. Let's go ahead and read out some of your guys' questions and start the Q&A, and we'll answer whatever you guys want to go ahead and send to us.
Okay, let's see here. Who cares about that shitty fight? Man, you guys are way better than EL. Nino Brown. Paulie got his ass beat. Does McGregor have any chance of beating Mayweather?
He has a chance. Conor does have a chance. It's a puncher's chance, like everybody's been saying, but it's still a chance. It's when they're saying it's a fight, anything can happen. That's very true. We've seen a lot of fights in which we thought the guy who was favored was going to completely blow out another guy, and then they end up losing. Problem is, they're taking that, I think, and kind of...
That 5%.
Nah, what do you mean that 5%?
That 5% of him winning.
Oh, no. They're taking that, I don't want to say out of context, but you got to think of the context. When that's happened in a boxing fight, the other guy who beat the guy that was favored had been boxing their whole entire life. And they dedicated their life to boxing. Now you're having a guy coming in that hasn't dedicated his whole entire life to boxing. And yeah, he's a big puncher, but he's at a distinct disadvantage against someone who's dedicated his whole entire life to boxing. So when they say he has a puncher's chance, yes, he does, but given the fact that it's a boxing fight in which it's a limited set of skills, one of which Conor is so-so in, and you have a guy who's a master in that skill set, it makes it extremely hard for him to have a puncher's chance in the fight. Now with MMA, it's a lot different because there's so many ways you could surprise someone and land a punch. You got to worry about kicks, knees, elbows, wrestling, clinch, submission. So it's a lot different in that aspect. It's a lot easier to knock someone out or submit someone in MMA than it is to knock someone out, especially at that level in boxing.
Your prediction, sir?
My prediction? Floyd Mayweather, I think, will beat Conor McGregor, and I think he'll knock him out. I want to say maybe like in the 6th, 7th round, somewhere around there. I think Floyd will try to give people a good show. I think he'll try to engage with Conor when he feels it's safe to engage.
A lot of shit talking.
Probably a lot of shit talking. Thing is, though, Conor's a counter puncher too, so that might be an interesting thing too. I don't know if Floyd will force Conor to come forward, When Floyd's fought counterpunchers in the past, he's forced them to come forward, come to him. So, you know, that remains to be seen.
Now they're asking about Canelo versus Triple G. Your thoughts so far?
What do you think?
Canelo versus Triple G. I'm leaning towards Canelo right now. I just feel like he's on his prime. You know, he's moving up his second fight at middleweight, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's going to be faster, slicker. If he gets hit with something, I think he's going to weather the storm. And I think he's going to cruise to split decision or unanimous. No, you know what? Split, because it's going to be a tough fight.
Yeah, you know what? I think we might see a split decision in that fight, actually. That's a very good point. You have a guy who's a perceived boxer puncher going up against a guy who's a puncher in Golovkin. And when you have that style where a guy counters against going a guy up against a guy who's really aggressive, when you look at it the span of history and the span of the last 15 years, not even that, the last 20 years, when you've seen fights of a aggressive fighter going up against a counterpuncher, we've always had fucked up scorecards. You look at Canelo versus Irislandy Lara, messed up scores all over the place. Whitaker versus Chavez, scores all over the goddamn place. It just always happens, and it comes to the preference of the judges, what they like to see. Some judges like to see the aggressor, and some judges like the guy that's moving around but landing the more accurate punches. So it very well could be a split decision fight. I think it'll be a split decision.
In favor of?
I don't know. I really do think that's one of these fights that it's a 50-50. Like I've said it before, I think that my brain is telling me Golovkin will win, probably via decision, but something in my gut is telling me that Canelo's going to win. It's a 50-50 fight. Canelo's younger, quicker, throws better combinations. Gennady likes to be in the pocket. Canelo is able to fire off combinations 4-5 in the pocket. Gennady gets hit a lot. Canelo has a tremendous uppercut. Gennady gets hit with uppercuts, but Gennady has a tremendous jab. And over the years, we've seen Canelo really struggle with opponents that have a really strong jab. He just doesn't have an answer to opponents that can jab really, really well. He just kind of gets stuck there and gets hit. And with that jab, they're able to control how they want to fight the fight that they're fighting. And a good example of that is against Floyd, when Canelo fought Floyd. But another good example of that, too, is against Irislandy Lara, too, who had a very excellent jab against Canelo.
And some dudes asking Mikey Garcia or Vasil Lomachenko. I'm sorry.
What do you think?
I don't know, but I want to see that fight. I want to see Mikey mix it up with Lomachenko. 135, I think it'll be a badass fight, technical fight, and if it happens, I think a lot of people would tune in. And it'll be very technical, but it'll be fucking exciting. It'll be a chess match in the ring, and I favor Mikey right now. That's just my personal opinion. A lot of people, Abel Sanchez seems to think that Lomachenko
right?
eats up Mikey Garcia, but I beg to differ, but that's just my opinion.
If you guys ever see Mikey Garcia in person, check out the size of his fist.
Fucking huge.
Dude has fucking huge ass bear claws as fists, man. So it makes sense as to why he's such a big puncher, because dude has big ass fucking hands.
Fun. Any questions, guys? Just put them down below, and come on, all these conversations, they already been discussed, guys. Zalo Flame. Let me see. Canelo has been fighting C+ fighters. He's stepping up to an A+. He gets knocked out in 8.
The last few fights, the last 2 fights, Canelo hasn't really fought good guys. Liam Smith, you know, Amir Khan, an undersized Amir Khan. If he would have fought Amir Khan at 47, I think Amir would have done a lot better than he did. But Amir's chinny as hell, you know. Amir had no chance. We all knew Amir was going to get caught at some point. It always does. It always happens in Amir Khan fights. He always gets caught. So yeah, those last year he hasn't really fought the best, but I have respect for Canelo because look who's on his resume already, the guys that he's fought. Fought Floyd, fought Irislandy Lara, who people said he would never ever fight, and he fought Erislandy Lara when Canelo's not even as good as he is now at this point, and he fought Lara. He has Shane Mosley on the resume. Yeah, I know Shane's old, but that's still something good to have on the resume. You know, Shane, even at that point, was okay, even though he was on the downside of his career. And Miguel Cotto, he beat Miguel Cotto as well. You know, that's already 4 Hall of Famers on his resume, and the kid's 26. And now he's going in, and he's fighting Gennady Golovkin. A lot of people say that Golovkin's not in his prime. Golovkin's still very close to his prime. Yeah, he's been slipping the last 2 fights, but it's not something where like Golovkin's like way out of his prime, you know. And I think with the last 2 opponents Gennady's had, I think it's a misperception. Daniel Jacobs gives a lot of guys a lot of problems, and the reason why Gennady struggled in that fight is because Daniel Jacobs is fucking good. He's really fucking good. He's a good fucking fighter.
He's ranked number 2.
He was ranked number 2, but Daniel Jacobs is fucking good. He beats just about any other middleweight out there. So I don't know why people are like, yeah, Gennady looked like shit against Daniel. Yeah, that's what happens when you fight a guy who's really fucking good. It's gonna be a tough fight. They're gonna make you look dumb or bad at certain points in the fight. Daniel Jacobs is a quality guy. He's bigger than Golovkin too in that fight. You could tell the size difference. So sometimes I think Golovkin's still pretty close to his prime. So to me, Canelo is fighting a Golovkin that's pretty much in his prime. So you got to give him props to that, because a lot of people felt that Canelo would not fight Golovkin until he was like extremely old.
This guy's saying Daniel Jacobs sucks.
Oh, come on, bro.
How dare you, sir?
Daniel Jacobs doesn't suck, man. Why do you think Daniel Jacobs sucks?
Ooh, David Benavidez versus Ronald Gabriel.
That's you.
David Benavidez knocks him out. No offense to Ronald. His name is Ronald, right?
No.
Yeah, I've seen him fight, but David Benavidez, he's one of those guys that in 2-3 years he's gonna be making a lot of noise in boxing. Oh, Rigo versus Loma. What do you think?
Ask Chino about that.
I think Rigo's too small. I think Loma, I think, is gonna just outbox him. Mayweather's a great boxer. He can make a change in the few first rounds, minutes, seconds, and have also very much a lot of experience. There you go. Ferguson versus Lee.
Ferguson versus Lee? What about Tony Ferguson against Habib, man? Shit, what the fuck's going on with that goddamn fight?
They're saying MSG.
What do you think, Matt? Little Matty Tucker's our resident MMA guy.
Man, I think Tony takes that.
You think Tony beats Habib?
You don't know, with Khabib's weight cutting, he can't seem to beat the scales. I think Tony takes him.
Tony's a big dude.
Hell of a fighter, too.
Well, it was funny because Ferguson was at the Mayweather McGregor press conference in LA.
The first one.
He wouldn't do interviews with anybody. I thought it was kind of weird. He said that Conor wouldn't even take a look at him at all, which I don't think so, because Conor's kind of crazy, to be honest. You see that shit he did backstage with fucking Woodley and shit? Like, hey, who the fuck you looking at? So when I heard that, I'm like, yeah, come on, bro. Like, I don't know about that, but Ferguson versus Habib. You know what? Ferguson has this weird ability, and he has to be part Irish or some shit, you know? Because that guy could be getting his ass beat, just fucking dominated, and somehow he ends up winning the fight. And you're just like, what the fuck? You're getting your ass beat for the last 3 rounds, and he just ends up winning the fight. Somehow he'll get a submission or get a knockout, you know? So that's always something to keep in the back of your head when it comes to a Ferguson fight. But excuse me, guys, sorry. Like we mentioned, we're en route right now to Vegas for this Mayweather McGregor workout with Floyd and Conor coming up. So keep bringing in the questions, guys. We want to go ahead and interact with you.
Brock Lesnar versus John Jones.
Oh God, Brock Lesnar versus John Jones.
Tag me in.
All right, Matt wants to say his piece. Go ahead, Matt.
Listen, I love freak show fights. I want to see it. I think you let Brock get super juiced up. Even
Can't be super juiced
even
up.
the playing ground.
Tested.
Hey, let Brock get juiced to the gills. I want to see it. I still think John beats him, but I love a freak show fight.
All right.
What do you?
Here's my take. John Jones completely obliterates Brock Lesnar. Makes him look dumb. Just, I've always said this about Brock. Brock doesn't like getting hit. And I know people that have coached Brock in the past. And they've told me that too. Brock Lesnar does not like getting hit at all. He tells his sparring partners, don't hit him in the face. This was years ago. I don't know if he's still doing it now, but... And Brock can't take a punch, to be honest, you know? He gets hit and his fucking head goes up like a Pez dispenser. So, you know what's the perfect example of that? It's when he fought Kane. Kane tagged him in the chin. Fucking head went up like a Pez dispenser.
Carwin, too.
So, yeah, and Carwin. Yeah, that's right. So, that's a very bad fight for Brock. But he'll make a shit ton of money on it, but I don't see him getting out of the first round. If a guy like Cormier couldn't even take down John Jones, or Cormier takes down John Jones, but John Jones pops right back up. And John Jones, yeah, okay, Greco-Roman, different than Brock. Brock was folk style in college, but there's levels to it. Cormier was an Olympic level wrestler. Brock was only a college level. It's a very high level in college, but there's still just levels to it, you know? An Olympic level wrestler toys with someone who won at a collegiate level. So if he's able to get up from takedowns from Cormier, I don't think Lesnar has any shot of being able to take down John Jones. And I think John Jones gets him out of there very, very quick.
With that said, Brock, if you're watching right now, we're just kidding, bro.
The Brock Ness monster.
I'm just gonna read over some questions from you guys and see what you guys have to say. Earl Spence, that guy's the truth. Okay, Earl Spence versus Keith Thurman. They're asking your opinion.
That's a tough fight. Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman.
Earl's a bad dude.
So is Keith.
Yeah, so's Keith. Both guys have big punching power. You got a southpaw in Spence who likes to come forward, can box. He's a boxer puncher, likes to target the body, which coincidentally, we've all seen that Keith has shown that he's vulnerable to the body. That's an important thing to know. You got a guy in Thurman who is fast, very powerful, but when you match the two, Spence is a lot bigger than Thurman. You got an orthodox against a southpaw. I think on paper you got to give it to Spence because of what I just stated with the body attack, and we've seen that Thurman has been vulnerable to the body attack. But it's a very good fight, one that I hope ends up happening. I know Thurman's out with like an injury or something like that. He's recovering. Spence, who knows when he's gonna fight? I think he has a, excuse me guys, tune-up scheduled soon, so that'd be an extremely good fight.
Okay. Let's see here. Spence wins. Spence kills Keith Thurman.
Yeah, he could end up.
Spence will outbox and outsize him.
Yeah, that could end up happening. That looks ugly.
Okay, let's see. Loma versus Crawford. Loma's too small for Crawford. Loma versus Mikey. They want to get your thoughts, Marcos.
Mikey might be too big for Lomachenko. He would have to move up another weight class, and I think he's really undersized at 135 pounds, which you got to give the guy credit for being undersized at 135 pounds. He's making people look stupid in that division. He just toys with them, man. So it's a pretty amazing thing when you see a small guy able to do that to other fighters, and he just takes their spirit away. They don't even want to fight them anymore. I mentioned this in our Instagram thing, but it's the same thing. as playing, video games as a kid. You know what game really pissed me off as a kid? It's fucking Ninja Turtles for the Nintendo. The original Ninja Turtles for the Nintendo. That game was so fucking hard to beat. And Matt's like, yeah, Matt.
Fuck that game.
Yeah, that game was so fucking hard to beat. There was multiple times where I rage quit that game. The underwater stage was like the second fucking level. That shit was fucking hard.
I'm getting mad just thinking about this game. Fuck that game.
So it's the same thing. You're playing the game and you get so fucking frustrated that you can't beat it, that you throw the fucking controller to the floor, end up breaking it, or you throw the controller at the console. It's rage quitting. It's known as rage quitting. And that's what these fighters do. They rage quit because they're getting messed with, belittled so bad that they can't even compete, and they're like, fuck it, I can't do anything. Why the fuck am I fighting this guy? Fuck it.
Good reference, by the way.
Yeah, I know, right? Ninja Turtle. I hated that.
Some guy said I remember that.
That game that's still to this day, one of the hardest fucking games I've ever played. The original. Now, Battletoads was like, you can mess with the difficulty settings in Battletoads. That fucking game, to this fucking day, still pisses me off. That was a hard fucking game. And then...
Is it Barstow?
Also, another hard game was fucking Shadowgate for the Nintendo. Fucking Shadowgate was a hard fucking game.
Alright, before we wrap it up, we're going to answer this guy's question. He wants to know Paulie versus Conor McGregor. Who won the sparring, and would there ever be a footage released in the future? They're asking you.
I'm going to defer that to Tino.
Sure as hell, I don't think so. I don't think so unless, like, they somehow make a future mega fight. Not a mega fight. Well, you know what? It would be a mega fight because there's a
fight, man.
Drama in that.
Anything with Conor McGregor is a mega fight. Anything with Conor is a mega fight.
He said it. They want to get your thoughts on it real quick.
I think it would be smart for Paulie to fight Conor. He'd make a lot of the most money he'd ever made.
More than
in a fight.
15 million?
He'd probably make 20 million, somewhere around there. There's already built-in drama for that fight. It sells itself already, given all the talk between them and the sparring. So it would make sense. And that's a fight where if someone were to tell me it could be competitive, I would believe them and not think that they were bullshitting me or selling me fucking wolf tickets because Paulie's retired. Paulie's a lot smaller than Conor. Paulie doesn't hit hard. But even given that, Paulie was a 2-division world champion. Paulie fought a lot of quality guys in their prime. And here's the one thing that you guys need to know about Paulie.
It's hard.
Paulie is a fucking tough motherfucker. Paulie fought Miguel Cotto with a broken fucking jaw. And this was when Miguel Cotto was a fucking beast. When he was mowing people down. Cotto in his prime would fucking mow you down. He'd put the pressure on you and start hitting you with body shots and uppercuts. He was relentless. He fought that Miguel Cotto, and he went with him the whole fight with a broken jaw. So don't ever question Paulie's heart because he has a ton of heart. But I think it's a good fight. I would pay to see that fight, to be honest. Probably not $100, but I'd probably pay like $50-$60 to see that fight because I know the trash talk will be great. There's already a natural buildup, and there's genuine dislike between the people, between them two.
I'll wrap it up real quick.
All right, guys. Well, we're making a pit stop here to Barstow and Del Taco. You guys ever make a road trip over to Las Vegas from California, you guys got to come to this Del Taco here in Barstow. It's the first Del Taco, and they just make the food a lot better. They have Barstow style tacos where they put like lettuce, tomato in the tacos. They make them different than the other Del Tacos. So we're making a pit stop right here, and then we're on our way to Vegas. Thank you guys for tuning into the live chat. Make sure to follow us on social media at FightUpTV for Instagram and Twitter. Follow me as well at Hey It's Marcos V on Twitter, Instagram. No, you're wrong, bro. Tacos is life. You don't understand. Tacos is life.
Someone doesn't like tacos?
I don't know. tacos is the best. Like I mentioned, this week, tomorrow Mayweather's workout, Friday McGregor's workout, Saturday. Can you guys give me number 3, no lettuce? Hey, if you were over here, Mr. Swole 51 951, I'd totally get you one. All right.
I like his style.
I would totally get you number 3 with no lettuce. But stay tuned to the channel, guys. We're gonna have a lot of stuff coming tomorrow for the Mayweather workout, and then the McGregor workout on Friday. We got a few things we're gonna upload today as well. On Saturday, we're uploading UFC fans' reaction to this Mayweather McGregor fight, and if they're gonna watch this fight or the Canelo versus Triple G fight. I know we did that one at the Canelo Triple G press conference. Boxing fans were having it, so now I went and asked MMA fans to see if they have a similar opinion that boxing fans had at the Canelo versus Triple G fight. So thank you guys for watching, really appreciate it, and thanks for supporting, and we'll have a lot of stuff coming up in the next few days.